spell your name for us and give us your title you'd like for our lower thirds?
Wow, a title. uh, SCOTTCLARK, and Captain, retired U.S. Army.
Perfect. Okay, you ready to get started, Scott?
Sure.
Okay, and we can just take our time, and if you want to start over, you can start over at any point, and I'll just be making notes, so we know which stuff we'd like to grab. Okay, so let's start with, how did you learn about Dehp and the study that they're doing?
Through Honor House, a group that helps out veterans with different modalities of care for their PTSD and injuries.
Okay, so you want to do that again? Yeah, do you want to start with the
Okay, yeah.
That was a good answer. Just start it with, I learned about Dehp,
Oh,
or I
okay.
learned about the study through.
I learned about Dehp through the Honor House, a group that helps out veterans with PTSD and different modalities of care for their injuries.
So, if you suffer from PTSD, what is that like to suffer from something like that? If you can put it into words.
It's difficult to put suffering from PTSD into words. It is an overwhelming, all-encompassing black cloud that follows you everywhere and everything that you do.
So, had you tried other methods to treat your PTSD?
Yes, I've done many things through the Army and the VA, and also I've sought some spiritual relief from PTSD.
So, if you've tried all these other methods, we're interested in why you'd want to even try more. If they hadn't been successful, what would make you want to keep trying another method?
Well, the biggest reason is my family. I wanted to make sure that my family is not suffering from my PTSD. That's it's about the hugest reason right there.
So, what was your initial reaction to learning about Dehp therapeutic? What did you think at first?
Well, I really didn't know what I was getting into, and with all the different things I've tried, the thing that I've learned is that you have to have a physical, a mental, and a spiritual healing process, and a lot of the physical and mental that I've tried in the past really wasn't working too well. So I was willing to try Dehp to alleviate some of those physical and mental symptoms.
Great. So, at what point was it in the therapy that you realized it was helping you?
Oh, after the first session, my intrusive thoughts decreased by about 90%.
That's huge.
Yes.
Has there been anything else that has done that for you, or was this the kind of treatment that all of a sudden it was like, whoa, this weight's been lifted? I mean, have you had that experience before?
Just in the spiritual side, not in the mental and physical side.
Great. So, let's describe something tangible for people, an experience or something that happened, an example where you realized, okay, this is different now because of this treatment.
Can you, I'm not quite understanding the question.
So any type of example in a relationship or daily tasks or interactions or job or just waking up in the morning and how you felt. I mean, just an example of when it kind of clicked for you and you said, oh, this is how it's affected me now because this does feel different.
Okay. Difficult question.
You could take your time to think about it. It can be something that you may have thought was so subtle but then you noticed it. It could be something that was a big change. Any type of example.
Well, the biggest difference that I saw was my stress level was significantly decreased, and that impacted just about all of my daily interactions. I started having a sense of humor again, even though my wife doesn't always appreciate that sense of humor.
That's good. Laugh break. I know. I was like, don't laugh, don't laugh. No, that's really good. That's a perfect answer. So, you talked a little bit about getting your sense of humor back, and let's talk a little bit more about how the treatment impacted, specific relationships in your life. So, whether you want to use your wife as an example, or how have you seen a difference there?
I feel like I'm able to start feeling emotions a little bit more. Emotions have always been a big part of my PTSD block, and I feel like they're available again. I just have to learn how to deal with them a little bit better.
So, let's talk a little bit more about the treatments themselves. Did you feel comfortable when you're having these treatments done? Do you feel safe?
Oh yeah. The Dehp process is very safe, very easy to work in. There's no feeling of fear or any type of issues are easy to discuss and work through.
Great. So, you've had some successes so far. Would you suggest this treatment for other veterans suffering with PTSD?
Oh, definitely. The program is so amazing to be able to get that burden off of your shoulders. It's definitely something that needs to be tried by everyone suffering from PTSD.
And just as a follow-up to that, do you think, in your opinion, there's a specific time or a better time for people that are suffering from PTSD to try a therapy like this?
Specific time. The sooner the better. There's no reason for people to suffer when something like this is available to help them.
Great. Perfect. So, do you want to cover anything else? Grab anything else out of there? We had some really good stuff there.
Yeah, it's so amazing. Thank you. You brought tears to my eyes. I'm so happy, and just to see everybody's results. We can't sleep at night. We're gonna just make this get as many people trained as possible in that time. I think if there's any way to talk, what I've heard a lot from the different veterans coming in is when they go through some of the other cognitive therapies or some of the different ones, that it's more like poking at it and stirring it up, so they're leaving upset, and they don't have the skill set, neither do their family members, to go ahead and work through that. I honestly think that's why a lot of the suicides are happening, and I don't want to down that type of treatment. I don't want us to be